Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. We are talking analytics. We're moving on to talk about the ad platform now. After this, we've got a panel all about the ad platform. Isabel's also got a few thoughts on this, talking about data, talking about tracking, and how you can manage it. Really happy to have her join us here. Normally, we'd be enjoying Isabel's company in Berlin. I think she's a long-time attendee of our Berlin event.
And the London one as well.
And London too, yeah. So we're happy to have her here in the virtual realm as well. So please give her a big hand and welcome to the stage. She's going to do a bit of chat, and then we're going to bring on Darius from Reflectly, and he's going to talk to her a bit about how they're using data for TikTok tracking. So yeah, please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Isabel. I'm representing Adjust today. I'm really excited to be here today and excited to share with you some insights on how marketers can leverage the Adjust data to succeed on TikTok as well. Thank you, James, for letting me take part of this great event. It's not the same doing it virtually, but still, there's a lot of learnings to be shared today, so I'm really excited to be part of it. And just to break the ice, I feel super weird because for the first time in months, I tried to do my hair, tried to put makeup. This is all for you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. Okay, let's get started. We have a lot to cover today in the next 20 minutes. I'll be sharing some insights with you on how it just empowers you to track the full life cycle of your users, so you can make confident budget decisions on TikTok. Also, how to create custom experiences on TikTok based on your users and their interests rather than their social network. Then we're going to touch on automation and how this enables you to scale your campaigns a lot quicker so you can achieve your ROI targets a lot faster as well. I'm saving the best for last, and we'll finish this presentation with a fireside chat with one of our customers and also one of my personal favorite apps that I've used the most in the last 6 months called Reflectly. Cool. So just to start, I'd like to introduce you briefly Adjust and what we do. So we are a market leader on mobile attribution, fraud prevention, and campaign automation as well. We are a global SaaS company, and you can see here some stats that represent our business today. Our mission is to make marketing smarter, simpler, and more secure. All right, so what's the opportunity to connect with users on TikTok? Well, according to Business of Apps, TikTok has reached nearly 2 billion downloads, making it the 7th most downloaded app of the last decade, which is super impressive, taking into consideration that it's quite a young app, right? It's very sticky as well, as you can see from the MAU and average daily spend in the app as well. Then App Annie is saying that marketeers are going to spend $240 billion in app marketing 2020, which is a big increase from last year. So my question to you guys is, how much do you think that of this ad spend is spent blindly? Do you think all of these advertisers are leveraging attribution data to find new opportunities to connect with their users? Well, the answer is certainly not all, but a lot of them are. Up until now, mobile marketing has mostly been thought of as a two-horse race, with Facebook and Google as reliable partners. However, as inventory dips in the face of increasing demand, do app marketeers look elsewhere? Well, our data suggests that advertisers increased the number of network partners by 19% last year. So the answer is absolutely. Well, marketers are experimenting more and more channels to get better results. However, marketers drive more spending as they drive more spending to these new channels on the back of successful experimentation. They will also need to acquire new skills because each social channel requires different expertise when it comes to creative, targeting, and measurement as well. Okay, so measure everything. Let's see how you do this. This looking at this slide and the metrics being tracked, I ask you, are you tracking enough? Well, this is a great starting point, don't get me wrong. Tons of app developers are optimizing their campaigns successfully based on these metrics. But is this the tip of the iceberg? Could the results be stronger if you go deeper? The answer is absolutely. The more granular, the better. It just allows you to track the entire life cycle of your users, starting from the very first ad interaction, how they move around in your app, how they monetize if you have a subscription app, if they happen to renew, cancel, or upgrade the subscriptions, and even when they might uninstall and reinstall your app later on as well. So this level of granular and accurate data about your campaigns and users as well allows you to optimize and scale your budgets wiser, meaning that you're going to spend the same amount of money, but the results you're going to achieve will be much higher, with lower cost per acquisition, stronger app stickiness, higher LTV users. You know the drill. Okay, so creating custom experiences on TikTok. A great benefit of TikTok is that you can create customized experiences based on your users, not their social network. With TikTok, content is pushed to you based on you and your interests, not your social graph, creating a more authentic experience for the user and one that makes more sense for your brand as well. So products that users like are highly scalable. When we talk about scale as well, we've seen that scale is different depending on the vertical. While a finance or dating app might track one install per 1,000 views, social apps are far more scalable. Is everything okay? Everyone can hear me okay? I'll just carry on. Okay. Keeping an eye on the conversion from impressions to installs is key for influencer marketing. However, making sure your product and creative are a good fit is even more important than influencers. So do you spend time on dull videos? Well, not really, right? So poor creatives don't sell no matter which influencer you use. Smaller influencers with the right creative tend to scale a lot more than bigger influencers. Similarly, the vertical and the product are more important than the influencers too. Okay, A/B testing. With Adjust, you can build segments of users and split the segments into individual groups. With those groups, you can conduct A/B testing on creatives, for example, and see which perform better. All of this is trackable in our dashboard, and obviously, the more granular the A/B test, the more accurate. Tracking the full life cycle of your users allows for mature segments like, for example, has purchased and is still active or uninstalled, for example. Do you think you should send the same message to both? Well, perhaps the message you deliver to someone that uninstalled the app needs to have a bit more weight behind it to justify the re-download, right? So be confident in your marketing, but make it data-driven. Just touching on automation and how this allows for creativity. We conducted a recent research across the US with 100 different marketing and data teams, and this is what we found out. Marketing and data teams spend far too long stitching data together to get the reports and insights they need to make effective decisions. And the problem is, once they've made sense of this data, marketing teams need to go in and out of different platforms to action those decisions. There's little time for marketing teams to focus on strategic planning and optimization and testing, and for data teams to build predictive LTV models, for example. All of this leads to missed insights, wasted ad spend, slow decisions, and ultimately slowing growth for consumer mobile apps. So Adjust Automate provides you first with a super granular ROI reporting that you can easily customize. So no more running around with Excel spreadsheets, nor nagging data teams to build and update reports as well. It also allows you to set up rules based on your performance metrics, ensuring that you stay laser focused on the campaigns that need your attention. So you very quickly pause the ones that are not performing and scale the ones that are working a lot quicker. Last but not least, it allows you to manage tons of campaigns from one single dashboard. All in all, our automation solution and automation in general enables marketers to streamline manual processes for faster growth. So you can hit your ROI targets a lot faster. just to finish before we bring Darius in, you might think, if I want to use TikTok, why should I use it just as well? Well, we can track all the data, track and collect all the data from all of your marketing campaigns and activities across all of your media partners, and we do this in real time. Adjust Measure helps you make sense of the complex user journey with actionable attribution and analytics data. Automate provides you with a simpler, faster way to scale your campaigns and consolidate reporting. And last but not least, Adjust Protect safeguards your marketing budget and brand and gives you data you can trust to make confident budget decisions. All right, it would be great if you can bring in Darius now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, amazing.
Hey, nice to see you again.
Yeah,
Cool.
you too.
So some of you might have seen Darius' brilliant presentation this morning. If not, do you think you can quickly introduce yourself, Darius, and Reflectly as well?
Sure. So my name is Darius. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Reflectly, which is the world's most popular journaling app. We have about 10 million users right now. We're still acquiring about 20,000 users a day. So our growth looks very much like this. In the last 6 months, we acquired 8 new apps. So we're building the mental fitness empire. And we're still a tiny, tiny team of about 11 full-time employees. So we're definitely the David going up against the big players.
Wow. Obviously, I think it's the right time to scale a business like that for sure. It's one of my personal favorites. So I'm really happy and not surprised to see that you've been succeeding so much. So how can you scale, Darius, with such a lean team?
Yeah, well, I think in the first place, we very much focused on having an amazing product that people loved. So I think we had 500,000 users before we started putting money into paid acquisition. And once we started, we focused on the channels that worked really, really well for us. So, when you start off with marketing a bit early, 1 or 2 channels might really outperform everything else. For us, that was Instagram in the early stages, and we just went all in on Instagram, spending as much money as we possibly could. And once you reach our scale, you have to diversify and then look at other channels, and the strategies change through each phase of the app evolution.
Great, thank you for that. Quite interesting. So what role does TikTok play as part of your marketing strategy? I appreciate it's not something they introduced to begin with, but I know you are an expert on TikTok, so surely you're doing a lot there, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we launched on TikTok 12 months ago. And to be honest, if we had launched Reflectly 12 months ago, we would have gone straight to TikTok because that was the biggest opportunity on the market. And still today, if I was to launch a new app, I'll probably start advertising on TikTok because it's so undervalued. So our focus on TikTok has been the last 12 months. And we did the 3 main parts of growing an organic profile, see how that goes, paying for ads, and then also doing influencer deals. At our scale, we focus mostly on the ads because when you are a small business, you either have time or you have the money. We don't have the time because we're trying to scale fast and we have a lot of capital, so we deployed it into the advertising for the most part.
Cool. So you're leveraging TikTok for both your performance campaigns, branding, and influencer marketing, right?
Sure, you could say that. Yeah.
Great. And what have you found to be the keys to launching successful campaigns on TikTok? Yeah,
so I mean, step number 1, just get on TikTok. I think so many people hesitate and question and sort of wonder about it. And I've had people asking me, for the last 12 months, questions about it. And I think the simplest answer is just get on and you'll see, because it's going to get saturated over time. And then if you're advertising, I mean, to begin with, you obviously need a third-party attribution tool. For us, that's Adjust. That's a requirement to run app install campaigns. And once you get on, especially in the first couple of months, I see that a lot of companies experience amazing numbers in the first couple of months. And there's a huge opportunity. I guess TikTok wants you to get hooked onto the platform as an advertiser as well. So they might incentivize it by providing really good results at the beginning. But it's sort of number 1 step is get on. And number 2, you really don't need to spend too much time on creatives. So I would say if you have creatives from Instagram and Snap, just reuse them. They're going to work just fine, maybe 80% of performance compared to 100% if you did like native TikTok ads. And then another trick, I also mentioned that in the presentation, is instead of trying to animate ads or do anything complicated, just simply film your app as you're using it and then use that video as an ad. We've seen that outperform almost everything else we tried. And not just us, if you go on Sensor Tower and you check all the top apps and see the ones that are advertising on TikTok, they use a very similar strategy. So it's an ad creative that costs nothing, takes no time, and it's infinitely scalable.
So you also mentioned this morning that, definitely film your phone, how does the app look like in your phone, but add some trending music to it, put some text as well. Can you tell us a bit more about your creative strategy and how this has evolved in the last 12 months?
Yeah, so I mean, our strategy, I think, is pretty primitive because our strategy is just volume, and quantity over quality. First, it's just like test everything. And in the early stages, I'll be uploading, 20 new campaigns a day on TikTok and putting money behind them just to see what works very, very fast. Then we figured out the model. So I see that for us and for a lot of other companies that you'll see, yeah, it's sort of film the phone, use some background music because TikTok is centered around music, so it's an important component of it. And then a little hack is using a text overlay, like a phrase that will represent your business. So if you're doing a home workout app, just say, home workout. Like that alone will improve conversion rates and the revenue down the line. So small things, but I think the general suggestion I would have is definitely just volume and test over trying to produce or think up ads. And we've tried it as well. Like we try to do some crazy like creative videos, but at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to work. Nobody in the world knows what it's going to work. Market is going to decide. So test as much as you can. And I've seen that also on my personal profile. I would upload, 10 videos. Sometimes I'll spend a day producing like a really cool video. And sometimes I'll spend literally 15 seconds filming a video of me talking about whatever, just brain vomiting. And it's always the ones that I spend least amount of time on are going to perform the best, at least from my experience. So don't put too much effort into it. Just be authentic and go ahead with it.
Thank you, Darius. You mentioned authenticity, but also make it personal, right? So nothing corporate, nothing salesy, just make it personal. Try to connect with your users and your target audience, right?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of TikTok is that people want sort of the real you, nothing salesy, and people sniff it out right away if you're trying to sell something or if you're being too salesy. And I think it's a beautiful opportunity to provide sort of a behind the scene element of your business. So, as a founder, you could be just literally, talking about how you're building the business, or if it's relevant to the founders, you could just be, let's say you're doing a home workout app again, just filming, you doing the workout, they're providing some nutritional or exercise insights, or just anything sort of behind the scene that you can talk about. So TikTok has if you're doing organic videos, TikTok has a fantastic feature. They make it so easy to create content. They have a feature where you can literally, if somebody comments in your videos, you can click on that video and create a video response. So you basically have infinite potential for content. Now, on my personal profile, I don't make videos. All I do is just respond to questions with this format. And there's other ways that TikTok makes it incredibly easy to create content. So just you don't have to think about it too much. Get on the platform, just start shooting. And the first 100 videos you're going to make are going to be cringy, but you will get comfortable over time, and it's going to be okay.
All right. Do you see my TikTok account? Are you calling me cringy now? Come on, I thought I was super cool. What are you on about?
Okay, so you're pretty good.
Thanks. Okay, so what are the main metrics that you track to measure the success of your campaigns? That's the first question. And then related to that question, do you think you can do more with the data that you have available?
Yeah, so number one, I think everybody here is running a business. So the number one metric you track is revenue. The only way to do that properly is when you dive into your adjust data or other data that you have. So that's sort of number one. When you don't have that data available, or if it's not 100% clear, because Apple doesn't make it very easy to track revenue. So if you're lost in the data, the next best that we've seen is app installs. There could be, from my experience, a lot of times there is a direct correlation between ads installs and revenue, but I've seen cases where that's not true. So for example, a while ago, we ran ads on Facebook, and we did this sort of, it was like a very creative puppy ads, and they did incredibly well. They drove so much, they went viral. We got like 15,000 likes in a couple of hours. it went insane. We got a ton of installs, but next to no revenue because the ads were not really relevant to our product. They were cute and funny and shareable, and it was a lot of fun to create, but they were not really centered around journaling. That's where we learned that, installs and likes and all the vanity metrics don't exactly correlate with revenue all the time. But once you sort of figure out the format of ads that work, then you can kind of rely on the install data. So that's number one in terms of what we look at is, revenue. If you don't have that, then look at installs and the install metric. There's a bunch of other, CPM and conversion rates and all those, but I've noticed that they don't always correlate with revenue again. So if I look at my top performing campaigns in terms of revenue, they may not have the highest click-through rates, for example.
Yeah.
So definitely look all the way down to the revenue. In terms of if we can be doing more, absolutely. I mean, we're a team of 11 people with 10 million users. We have like 2-3 engineers on the main product. So we're definitely extremely under optimized. There's so much more we could be doing, but there's only so many hours we have in the day.
But I think that's quite exciting, right? If you guys are doing so well with what you're doing right now, and the sky is the limit, well, it's going to be a pretty exciting year, right? And to be honest with you, I can get a Just to fly me to Lisbon, and we can have a one-to-one meeting about how we can help you leverage our data and automation and all of that to grow faster. So don't worry, I'm coming to Lisbon.
Amazing, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's so much more we could be doing. So also, if there is any rock star marketeers that have knowledge in this area, feel free to reach out. We're always hiring. So yeah.
Perfect. So guys, those are my questions to Darius. Thank you so much. You were brilliant. I just, I think we've run out of time, James, or would you like me to get some questions from the audience for Darius as well, if anyone wants to ask something else?
We haven't got any immediate questions. I think you've done a good job of interrogating Darius so far. So
that's a skill of mine.
I guess the main, I was trying to find your TikTok channel, Isabel, but there's a lot of Isabel Ferreira out there. So you must have got it hidden somehow.
Yes, but, I got it hidden because someone called it cringy.
Okay, so we need to find that. But yeah, so I guess the question is, so how can people find out more and connect with both of you guys? If you can paste just kind of, your details in the chat, that'd be useful. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Isabel. Thanks, Darius. That was great.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys. Bye.